Hello, Spoon Nation. Welcome back to a long waited for series. I think early February, and it's now nearly mid-April. Things have got in the way, but I'm back with another wrestling review. Today we've got In Your House: Revenge of the Taker. Now, I started watching this show in early February, and then watched another chunk of it probably mid-ish March, and I finished it today, the 10th of April. Yeah, no reason for it to have taken me as long as it had. It just kind of did because, things get in the way of the silly little watch the wrestling, review the wrestling, because there's no money in this for me. I'm just simply doing it for the love of the game. 0 views, I reckon this will get. Anyway, so it's been a while, but hopefully the 3 or 4 people that have been waiting for this are finally going to see it. And let's get into my review of In Your House: Revenge of the Taker. So the show begins with an opening package specifically about Mankind and Taker because the whole show's based around this one match. As you can probably guess from the name Revenge of the Taker, it's The Undertaker, clearly. Vince is on commentary, and all we can't commentate about first, quickly after that, it's the Legion of Doom, and they're here to fight the Hart Foundation. We see some highlight package things, not a video package, but highlights of why they're having a little fight. Oh, next is the Hart Foundation represented by Owen and Bulldog. And yeah, on the commentary we got JR, Vince and Lawler, so that'll be good, won't it? The champion's out second, which is one of my little nitpicks. If you've been watching some of the previous ones, I get really not pissed off, but I don't get why you'd have the champion out first when you could have him out second. Anyway, and then there's a big chop from Hawk. So match starts, a big chop from Hawk, and he gives a fuck off to Owen. That's what I've written in my notes months ago. Don't know what that means. But then we see Steve Austin arrive backstage, and they're kind of hot tag from the Bulldog, and then we get a random picture with the commentators just showing them off. Legion of Doom hit a double move, and now they're the WWF Tag Team Champions. But the rest are talking to each other, and then Howard Finkel. They then get told that they pinned the illegal person in the match and that it must continue. They're then told they have a 10 count or they lose their titles, and then they run back in. Hart and Davey Boy do some double team stuff on Animal. There's a visual pin on Bulldog, but the ref's distracted. And then just a big schmoz finish. Brett comes out for the DQ. I gave it 2.25 stars. I can't remember the match because, of course, I can't. It's a 2.25 star tag team match. I opened a pay-per-view in 1997. Next up, we have a little interview between Owen and Davey Boy, and they are really angry that Stone Cold's there because, him and Brett are having a match later. Then see Sonny and Pillman. No gun, just a phone number. And they're telling, yes, phone this number for a chat, I assume. Savio Vega's out with some raw-looking lads, the IRA. And then the Nation of Domination's out. Rocky Maivia comes out and is attacked before the bell. Still holding the title belt, which I assume is the IC title. Farouk then comes out, shit talks Ahmed Johnson in the picture-in-picture, and the match feels like background to Ahmed Johnson, not Ahmed Johnson, to Farouk just chatting his shit. There's a pinfall attempt, but the D'Lo distraction stops the pin, and there's a quite a nice over-the-top DDT from Mr. Johnson, Dwayne, that is, not Ahmed, which isn't helpful. They're both called Dwayne Johnson. Well, not both called Dwayne Johnson, one's called Johnson anyway. Then hits a rock bottom for a 2 count, and because it's early rock, clearly it's 97. No pop. Just nothing. I think it's Irish whipped out, and hit Crush, who hit him with a heart punch behind the ref's back. I don't know who Crush is. Probably one of the Nation members. I should be better at this, but I'm simply not. Count out finish, so no title change. Utter bollocks. 2 out of 5. Savio's really mad at Crush. He must just be called Crush. Then Farouk gets in the ring with his dodgy shoulder. They bring the Rock and they start kicking him and whipping him. Ahmed Johnson comes in. Now it's with a 2x4 bit of wood. then Johnson cuts a promo saying he'll do the fight that Farouk put forward to fight him, put forwards to fight the whole nation. And then there's some weird thing about illegal immigrants. 90s were weird. This is the end of all the stuff I watched in February. So and then we see Ken Shamrock on his computer talking. Go to the WWF website. And Sable and her man's saying we'll be back. Stone Cold in the locker room. There's a scuffle there. They found him. Owen and the Bulldog leave the men's room with a pipe, and it's heavily implied they attacked Stone Cold. Out next is Jesse James, and he has a sing. We then see a video package of the Honky Tonk Man vs Jesse James. Cool. Honky Tonk comes out to his classic theme, you know. I got I'm the Honky Tonk Man. Kill me. Brian Gunn's out, and he's friendly with Honky. Then the match is Billy Gunn versus Road Dogg Jesse James. And then Lawler makes a spunk joke for no reason, just helpful. Then I remember this. There's a big back body drop, and Billy does a big shout. Jesse does a clothesline jumping off the apron, hitting Billy, and tells Honky he's next. Billy hits a famous but that's not his finisher yet. Big stiff shots from James to Billy, and then Jesse just wins with a roll up. Another 2 out of 5. Honky gets his very clearly gimmicked guitar and misses for some reason. And then we get Vince trying to sell stuff, and there's an Undertaker doormat, I think. It says, I've written doormanner in my notes, God knows what that means. Steve is at the back, and he says the Hart Foundation will need to kill him to stop him. Steve is going to kill Bret Hart and and I quote, whip his dad's fat ass. It sounds so much better in a Texan accent than my shitty one. And then Gorilla Monsoon says Steve will probably fight. But I think they've had their match pushed to the end to give them fair chance. Take of Mankind's on next. That's what they've announced. We then see the Hart Foundation. And Bulldog and Owen say they did nothing wrong. And then Bret looks longingly into the interviewer's eyes. We go back to ringside and we see the video package for Mankind vs. Taker. And it is 90 spooky bollocks. And everything from here I've watched in the last 40, 50 minutes. So I'll be actually a bit good with it. Go straight to the interview zone. We've got Mankind and Paul Bearer. Good promo from Mankind, saying he's going to win. Vince on commentary says, because, Mankind, have a nice day. Vince says, I don't think he would. Obviously, Mankind and Paul Bearer out first because they aren't the fucking champions. Correct. And then Mankind has a fire extinguisher because fire's been a big thing in the build to the match. I think Mankind set Taker's eye on when he did. Obviously not real. And then JR makes a joke about Mankind being the face of the WWF, and that there be a Mankind swimsuit calendar. The only shocking thing is that Lawler didn't make that joke. Out next is The Undertaker as the WWF champion, and the thing that not surprised me, but still a bit funny, he was still a slow walker, 97, nearly 30 years ago, don't think about it. And they have a little punch up before the bell even starts. Taker's got a massive bandage on his forehead, I think on his right, from where he was obviously burnt. And JR says that there are reports that Taker has blurred vision. Obviously. And then really early on, Taker does the sit-ups, but the chokeslam is teased. He kind of just throat pushes Mankind into railings a few times. He then throws him over the railing into the crowd. It's a normal match. All the matches on this card are regular. So it'd be a count out by now. I count to about 30. But, the ref's letting it go. It's the title match, It's fine to do that once every now and then. Massive springboard clothesline from an old school position. It looks like he'd take a slip speed, doesn't he? Fucking fully gets the clothesline off. Mankind, Taker gets Mankind up for the tombstone, but gets distracted by Bearer. And then while him and the ref are ooh-ahing at Bearer, Mankind hits Taker with the urn. And then, good. And then Taker just kicks out. Decent near fall, but then Mankind rips out some hair. And then on commentary, this is around the Q8 thing with Vader, and they just make reference to the fact that he's locked up. Great, that'll help. Mankind hits a pretty good swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count. And then, many claw holds because the mandible claw at the time, and just various positions on the back, on the shoulder, in like the neck, the jugular vein, as the king pronounced. And then the crowd start chanting for Taker, which starts to unload on Mankind. And then I know it was the Attitude Era, nearly the Attitude Era. Attitude Era starts in Montreal. Ends at X7. That's my definition, but you could argue it's here. Vince Russo says it's something about gold dust, which is fucking mental. Anyway, Mankind just smashes a glass jug over Taker's head, fully in view of the ref. So should be a DQ. Straight DQ. That's it. Ding ding ding. Taker retains. But no, not DQ, just lets it go. But again, it's the WF title match. Let it go. But Vince also asks the same question, which makes me think, you booked it. You know. And Mankind hits a chair shot and onto Taker, and the chair is bent to fuck. Again, all in the view of the ref. Not like there's been a bump or something, just, it's allowed, and the ref's not counting for the count out either, but whatever. Mankind then hits an elbow drop to Taker, who's lying on the floor post chair shot. Mankind then takes off Undertaker's bandage, and the burns looks okay. The makeup wasn't too bad. Mankind then hits a pile driver for a 2 count. Straight up 2 count, not a near fall 2 count. Mankind then hits a second pile driver, second layer. Instead of pinning him, which you think, okay, well, I got him 2 the first time. Again, just, that'll finish it. Just screams at him. Just screams at Taker's prone body. And then there are big cheers for when Taker starts hitting him back. The ref now takes a bump for shenanigans, even though it's been quite obvious this match that you can do whatever you want, weapons, chairs, whatever. Mankind puts Taker asleep with the mandible claw, and then a ref comes in to be like, oh, and then Mankind pushes him out. Why have you done that? Bearer then gives Mankind a chair, but Mankind gets the steps. Taker then drop kicks Mankind. Well, he kind of drop kicks the stairs, and it kind of like all collapses onto Mankind. And then as they were doing this, I see a little ECW sign go up in the crowd, which is funny. Then Taker gets a chair and fucking hits a grim chair shot to Mankind. And then they do a hangman spot, and as he's doing the hangman, like, he slips through it. Taker takes off Mankind's mask, and then Foley climbs up, like to be like on the apron, and oh my god, he gets a massive chair bump, but he goes fucking head first through a table. It's not like a normal table that splits in. It's one of the older tables, so it's a regular table with cloth on it, and he just goes head first through it, and it doesn't like collapse, just a big hole in it for the rest of the night. And I thought, that's the finish. That's great. Choke slam, near fall. Then, cool. Throat slit from Mr. Mark. And then, that's the finish. That bump was gnarly looking. 3 3/4 stars out of 5. Pretty good match. Taker does a very short celebration, then he gets Paul Bearer. And then, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, they kept ringing the bell, even though the match was over. So it's like ding, ding, ding every now and then for no reason. And then Mankind's got something in his hand, and it's quite obvious he's got something in his hand. But he drops it because I think Taker kicks him, whatever. And then Taker gets it and does a very noticeable fireball onto Paul Bearer. And then him and Mankind waddle backstage while Taker's music plays. Pretty good post match, Can't complain. Then there's an ad about the next In Your House, which is May 11th, 1997. So make sure you book your tickets, guys. Brett's in the interview zone with the Hart Foundation, and they say Steve Austin and Brett are having a war. And this is the 3rd time they're going to fight, and Brett is going to win for a 3rd time in a row. Brett comes out with the Hart Foundation, but the refs and officials are, no, you can't come. So they have to go back. Then, glass shatters, Steve Austin's out. And then they just start fucking leathering each other before the bell. Like, proper throwing things. And then I realised there's no video package for the main event. You could have used some clips from, Mania, showing that Steve Austin will never quit, but doesn't matter. Then some ECW chants when they go ringside. I don't know what ECW was doing in 97, but whatevs. Again, not a DQ match, not a DQ match, not a no DQ match, but ages spent outside the ring. Austin then climbs the railing, hits a massive axe handle, and I thought it was pretty good. Brett then tries to get a chair. They both kind of slip, but it's nothing. Steve's now got the chair, but Brett drop kicks Steve, and he downs the ref. Brett then fucking wallops the knee of Stone Cold, the one with the thing, the binder, what's it, the brace with the chair, knee bar. I think it's a knee bar. It could be a figure four. I don't really know. The ring spot, the ring post spot. You've all seen it, but Steve's not going to quit. More chair shots on his leg again. This is still in the ref series up by now. JR says, and then just completely took my attention away from the match. JR says, thank you to the UK fans for staying up, which would be nice if they did nowadays. Like, WrestleMania starts at midnight. Minimum, I'm going to be up 3-4 hours. I'd love a little thank you to all the UK viewers on Netflix. From preferably someone not dodgy. Oh, not Pat McAfee. Anyway, off topic. But then Lawler says hello to Princess Diana, which means he thinks Princess Diana's watching WWF In Your House, Revenge of the Taker at like 3 a.m, which is funny. But then I thought about it. It's 97. I Googled it. Within the next 6 months, she dies, which is probably the average response for a woman if Jerry Lawler says hi to you. Anyway, Austin then wails on Brett, who just keeps on taking out his knee. And then we get backstage. Bear is screaming in the stretcher because Taker set his face on fire. Brett now takes off the knee brace and just keeps working over the knee. It's very efficient. He's fucking on that knee like a bullet. Austin then hits just a blatant low blow. And the ref sees it and just lets it go. And I'm thinking, it's Earl Hebner, 97's not the first time Earl Hebner's going to fuck over Bret Hart. Then Austin gets a wire and chokes Bret with it for a bit. Cool. Then Bret puts Austin in the figure four, not the sharpshooter, because he just wants to torture Mr. Austin. Austin then reverses it to, reverse the pressure. And then rope break, but Austin doesn't try and release it. He then just goes to punch the ref. Okay. And then, Bret tries to do the post submission again, but doesn't do it. And then flying around, Bret gets dropped into the crowd, and Austin batters Bret there. The ref lets a lot go in this match, like a lot of countouts and stuff. And I'm thinking, if you were like a prem ref, you'd be sacked. Anyway, a big diving clothesline from Stone Cold, a massive, the corner whip where it's fucking Bret just looks like he's been shot in the face after colliding. Stone Cold goes for a pile driver, but his leg completely buckles. Thank God they'd been working over his knee. Otherwise, that's the worst pile driver I've ever fucking seen. And Bret then goes to whip Austin in the corner, but his leg buckles halfway. This is very good selling, a very good technical wrestling. And then Austin does like a little, not a German, but like a throw thing to the corner post on Bret, and he gets a 2 count. Austin goes for the stunner, but Bret holds onto the rope to stop him in it, and then another low blow in direct view of the ref. But to Austin this time. Bret then hits a superplex. Bret goes to put Austin in the sharpshooter, but as he's leaning over to sort the legs out, Austin twats him with his leg brace. Austin then puts on the sharpshooter. The Hart Foundation comes out, and Austin goes, fuck off, all of you. And then Stone Cold goes to put the sharpshooter on again, and he gets it in. But then Bulldog twats Austin with a chair, and the bells rang for the DQ, which was a bad finish, in my opinion. Pretty good match. But the finish, so many times the ref had let stuff go disqualification-wise. I'm like, this is just a bit shit. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5. And then post-match, Bret then gets the ring bell, or Steve's in the ring with the chair. Austin then, Bret goes to hit him with the bell, but I think, Bret kind of, just hits his hand or something, so Bret kind of hits himself in the knee. And then, Steve Austin just, fucking destroys Bret's knee with the chair, and then puts him in the sharpshooter, and gets pulled aside by security. And then, the Hart Foundation walk away, carrying Bret, or Stone Cold. Music plays, and he celebrates in the ring. He then walks out, and that's the end of the show. A pretty fine show, all things. It's a fine Attitude Era-ish show. Had the stars, had the pops, but in ring, it was like, yeah. The Taker Mankind match and the last match was very good. The finish, well, despite the finish being a bit shit, weird that they didn't just call them no DQs, especially Brett. Not Brett, because at least that one plays into the finish. Like the Mankind match should have been no DQ, because like there was no, most of the match was disqualification worthy anyway. But yeah, overall, I think I give the show. I haven't been giving out. I haven't been giving out star ratings. Overall, I give the show a 2.7 out of 5. So yeah, that puts it in about the middle of all the shows I've watched so far. Now, end of this show, the bit I've been long awaiting for, The Wheel, to see what I have to watch next time. We're here with The Wheel, the mighty Wheel. Now, it's been such a long time. I've had to add 4 pay-per-views. I've added Vengeance Day from NXT, Elimination Chamber Toronto, Dynasty 2025, and Revolution 2025. That's not the order they happened, is it? The order they happened is Vengeance Day 2025 NXT, Elimination Chamber Toronto WWE, Revolution 2025, and then Dynasty 2025. So let's see what the Wheel has to give me today. On the road to WrestleMania, it's an old WrestleMania would be good, but I'd like to watch some AEW or ECW or NXT. But what do we have to watch? Slammiversary 2022, a little bit of TNA. Now, I'm going to look at the card now, and then for the next couple of days, try and find a way of watching this show. Got an 8-match card here. Not too bad. A lot of names I recognise, which is good. So we got Speedball, Mike Bailey, who I've heard of. No one else in the first match, but it's an Ultimate X match. A lot of stipulations, which TNA. Next match, I don't recognise either of them. Oh wait, no, that's fucking Emma. Oh, it's one person. Then we've got a Monsters Ball match with Moose and Sat. This is going to be a good show. I hope. Well, Cage Match says it's pretty good. We got a overall rating of 8.34 out of 10. So a good 4-ish show, which is pretty good, Opening match getting good, the Monster Ball match getting good. And then the last 2 matches getting also quite good. So I'm looking forward to this. Well, hopefully you'll join me next time while we watch Slammiversary 2020. I've been Keith Spin. It's been another wrestling show review. Like, comment, subscribe, or go away.